Hey guys, welcome back to the You Sprayed podcast with Mitch and Toddy. Here for another episode. Mr. Toddy, hey bro, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good man, good, always good. You know me. Fam good, kids good.
Yep.
Yeah,
Beautiful as ever.
yeah, it's awesome. Boys are into a bit of sport at the moment, bit of cricket, bit of b-ball.
Yep.
Yeah. How funny we're talking about basketball, because my 6-year-old Izzy's obviously doing basketball, and you've got the two of your boys in it. Miles 5,
Miles just turned 5.
just turned 5,
yeah.
and Finn's 7.
Turn 7 next week.
Turn 7 next week. Yeah, close. So yeah, they're both doing basketball, and you were telling me about young Miles, who just loves basketball, he loves throwing the ball up, but obviously struggles to, hit the rim or get it in, but just loves shooting it. And it's so funny, like, same with my daughter Izzy. First week, she was nowhere near the rim. Second week, nowhere near it. 3, she's closer. Like, 4th week, like, she finally got one in, like, she was ecstatic. It was so fun. And then she was getting me to the court early to shoot around, and she was, she'd get like 3 or 4 in a row. It's pretty cool to see when, like, they get that development and they, love the sport and want you to play them. So, yeah. But
Kids sports is awesome too, because it's kind of like the gym where it's you just get weekly progression. It's noticeable leap every week on week on week on week.
Yeah.
It's so cool to watch.
Bro, the thing about sport is it's obviously, teaches kids a lot of great things: discipline, resilience, teamwork, all those fine motor skills. Thing that ruins sport, bro, is parents. Unfortunately, there's so many parents out there that, trying to live out their sporting dreams through their children, and just ruins it for everyone. And I've actually seen it, firsthand. Like, there's a lot of guys that, I was very good friends with, and as we got older, did a bit of coaching, still playing, kids involved in the sport, and they just completely changed, mate. They just become one of those, mad dog parents, as I like to refer to, where they just, they're so fixated on, like, making sure that, their kid's looked after, that their kid gets every opportunity, and they don't care, who else they're bringing down. It doesn't matter, and they're just so blinkers on. It's my kid, do this, and it's a shame. There's so many people out there that just aren't in it for the sport in general. It's just, their child. And by all means, you've got to look after your children, because you're their parent. But I mean, my philosophy is, the world that we live in at the moment is, I feel it's a lot harder than it was when I was young. You've got so much social media, lots of bullying, and there's, I'm not going to dive into it, but there's a lot of different things that are acceptable these days that confuses children, and the messages that we send. But ultimately, mate, we should be teaching kids more than ever about resiliency and discipline, and that will serve them well as they go, and as they get older, because we're not going to be around to protect them all the time, and they need to have that. And I mean, at the moment, there's a lot of entitlement, and there's a lot of cuddling, I think, and too much of it. And I feel like it's, it's impacting with, a lot of, uptick in suicide and stuff like that. People just not caring enough, which is sort of sad.
Or maybe even caring too much. Sometimes I think like, a lot of people avoid certain situations because they don't want them to feel bad. So it's like, but the reality is, it's like, if you're gonna feel bad, or they're gonna feel bad.
Yeah.
So it's like, so why don't you feel bad? Let them just learn.
But I actually think it's funny. Like after I've like coached a lot of people. I've employed a lot of people over the years, and I think at times it doesn't matter if you're saying something that's constructive criticism or you saying something's positive. It's so dependent on the person and the state that they're in. How they take it. Like, because it's like, they take positivity like not well, but then constructive criticism's even worse.
One day you could have the worst road rage, and the next day it's like, why am I not getting upset over this? Must have had a good sleep last night and lots of water.
Yeah. and I think that's what separates, a lot of people in general and business owners and stuff like that is, what we talk about is awareness. You know what I mean? Like, bro, we fuck up all the time. You know what I mean? Like oh, jeez, I don't know about that, but like, we do. Like, we're not,
Definitely.
well, it happens. Like, we're growing a business and we're growing rapidly. We've got other people, involved in the business, and the reality is you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna fuck up, and it's just how you respond to doing that. Like you shake it off. You make sure that you don't do it again. If it's a systems or a process issue, change it. But yeah,
isn't that funny though? Like I feel over the last 12 months, because we find there's lots of opportunities for us to learn, because we make mistakes all the time, and we there's always a way to do better. But it's like I find for over the last 12 months, when we do miss out, it's perceived more as an opportunity than a failure. Like to me, I just feel like, all right, sweet. Well, there's an opportunity for us to be better.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know if I was actually that black and white before that. Because it's like, oh, it sucks. Let this guy down. Or it's like, or I did this or I did that or whatever. Or this didn't work.
Yeah.
Or this person didn't want to work with us or whatever. And it's funny though, because it's like there's always a lot of stuff to learn that's really good. We've talked about this many times, how we've gone down a road which we thought was the right road and failed. And it's like, then we, it sucks. You just cop it and you move on. But then it's like, in hindsight, it's like, man, are we lucky that we actually failed it? Because we were setting ourselves up to be massively taken advantage of. And you don't see it at the time because you just don't know. You just assume we're all going to work together and it's all going to be great. But it's like, then it's like, once you get past that, you realize, thank the universe for looking after us, because we were actually heading down a road that was, at the time, looked amazing. But I was like, thank goodness that door was shut and we didn't sign anything, because
bro, I said this to you, and I say it all the time. Like, when we first started approaching people and having, some serious conversations, the only thing dumber than our offer to them was them not taking it. You know what I mean? And that's, and I'm so grateful for, people that have turned us down and shat on us, because it's really taught us, a lot of lessons.
At the right time too, because it was like, if that happens today, we're screwed, because it's like, we've built a brand that's valuable to people. It's like, well, we're lucky at the time that it was like, it was all like, what's going to happen? Like, it was all dark. So now it's like, it's going to be dodged and bullets, heaps.
Exactly. But it happens like all the time. I even think, young years in painting, where I just took on massive commercial jobs, and it's like, you know, you're doing it for fucking 200 grand and the project manager comes back. If you do it for 170, you can have it. And you're just like, yes, 170, that's a massive job. And you don't really like stop and think about, like, you priced it like you like a certain way, but you've just, because you're so like, you want the trophy, like you're just young and dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And close to broke because you're just worried about it. Yes, I get to do this job. Yes, Toddy, I've got a 170 contract doing this massive job. But you just, you know, let go of all your profit just to do the job. And you do it and you bust your ass. And then at the end of it, you're like, I didn't earn any money. But that was cool. You know what I mean? I painted that over there. How cool's that? Like, it's just like, it's stupid. Like, and why would you, if you can do it for 170, I can just imagine project managers just sitting there going, okay, you know, for 170, let's go back to this guy and see if you do it for 160. And then they come back and say, you know what I mean? It just goes around in circles and you're just dumb enough to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and like,
and even if you can manage it to where you end up as much as you wanted to, it's like, man, I had to work 20 miles a week on that.
Yeah.
So everything else, you know, because we're going through this sort of thing right now with some of the stuff we're doing. It's like,
yeah.
You know, I'm coming in every Saturday afternoon to facilitate a sale. I'm coming in many Sundays to facilitate a sale. And it's like, you don't actually, there's no way of measuring the cost.
Yeah.
It's like at the moment, it doesn't cost me anything on the time. And it's like, then you realize, hey, my time is actually the most valuable thing here. So why am I giving this away to people for nothing or for little at the expense of my time with my family or the time at whatever? And it's like, you know, that in the back of your mind, maybe it's a cultural thing where you just feel like I do just enough. Eventually, people will just see that it's good, and you know, it's like a resume almost. But it's like, the reality is, it's like no one gives a shit. So it's like, why am I working so hard for the same amount of money?
And as you get older, you value time a lot more because, you know, you've got family, you know, you're working hard, you've got minimal downtime. So time's important to you. And the thing that always gets me is when someone else is not respectful of your time. You know, they're like super late and don't let you know, or they don't return phone calls, or they don't return emails, which we've had a lot. Like, to me, like, if you can't just respect someone in common courtesy, man, like, it's bullshit in my eyes, you know, like,
yeah, especially when they're like in our circus, we're presenting a fix for people, and it's like obvious fix, and they see the fix, and then it's like, you know, they don't respect your time to some degree. Then it's like that's something that really bothers me and you, obviously. So it's like, but then what happens is they become inconvenienced with a certain scenario, and now they're coming to us demanding their time again. And it's like, no, I don't, you know, you're not a priority to me anymore.
Yeah.
You know, probably more a priority to begin with. But it was like, you know, thank you for giving us this valuable lesson, because it's like, my time is valuable, bro. I got this much time in the day. I'm not giving it, you know, I'm not taking it away from the most important people in my life, you know.
Well, but loyalty and respect is a funny thing, isn't it? Because it's like everyone like that supports us, we try to support them and give them the best service possible because it's a two-way street. You know, I think about your friends, like, you know, there's that person that always, you know, you always ring, never rings you. Like, as you get older, man, you're like, fuck this guy. Or there's the guy that you'll give them a hand to move, but you're moving. Say, bro, can I get a hand? Sorry, man, I'm busy. You know what I mean? And I've spoken to you a lot about this. Like, you know, you are like one of the most fucking generous, you know, loving people, you know, I've ever met. Sorry, that's a bit cute. Yeah, that's the nicest thing I've ever said about it. But in all honesty, but there's been, you know, times where people are taking advantage of that. And, you know, like you realizing how valuable your time is to people, and it's about giving that time to people that actually value your time. You know what I mean? So it's like, and when you actually start, you know, respecting your value and your time, and you say to these people, it's not okay. Like, man, you're this to me, and you know, I'm doing all this other stuff for you, and then they like get this like, oh, like they're upset, and then all of a sudden you raise it and stop doing it, and then you don't hear from them anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah, it's funny how people are in the world like that.
Yeah. And to be honest, bro, like since we've been doing this, I've had a few scenarios where I genuinely believe large businesses bank on the good nature and kindness of many people in their life, in their business. You know, like I don't know if I've ever spoken about the issue with, you know, old mate where he had been missed in paint. I told him it was only 10% off, so it shouldn't notice it.
Yeah.
Which is dumb
Yeah.
to begin with.
Yeah.
And then so they ended up finishing the job with the wrong color, and then we went back, and like he was just prepared and said, look, I'll just cop this one on the chin and do it anyways. And it's like, no, bro, it's not your fault.
Mm.
Like, give me your rent. I'll freaking win. I don't care. But he was like, nah, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And I just think, man, there'd be a lot of sort of stories like that, like an enormous amount of stories like that. And it's like, because maybe I didn't apply it properly.
Yeah.
Maybe I applied it in the dark. Maybe that's why I started out.
Yeah.
but it's like that's the sort of stuff. I just think, I wonder, that's the difference between dealing direct with like a corporate business. Not to say there's not good people, there's great people there, but like versus dealing with independent, you know, like your inspirations, your pursuits and stuff like that. Because it's like they've skin in the game. It's as valuable to them as it is to you. It's like they're the ones that are going to like try and work together, you know. And it's like there's so much value in that, and it's like that's why when you go to inspirations, it's like you gotta wait 30 minutes to get to serve because there's heaps of people in there. You go to a corporate store, it's like straight in, straight out, which is valuable, you know. I don't know, but it's like that's the thing, and it's like there's obvious value in people's time, and it's the people that are investing the time. You know, I'm not gonna, if you're gonna be corporate, you get paid whether you do the job or not. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just,
well, it's basically understanding your value, that you're the brand, and you're what's most important. And I mean, we see this with distributors. We've gone around distributors before, pour their hearts out to us, like, you know, this is happening to me. These other spray brands, they never come and see me. They rip me off. They do this. They don't offer me support. Here we are. We're ready to make a change, give you great margins, service your people. You make the money. Let's go. Oh, like I'm just sort of worried about those. I'm like, what? You're worried about them and what you just said all these things about them. And it's kind of like an abusive relationship. You know what I mean? Like when you're about like this guy, like, you know, this person's been abusive towards me. Like, oh, but leave him. Leave her.
no.
No, I'm not. Yeah, like, but that's how it is. So it's like, are you actually just whinging, or you actually want to make a change? But obviously some people get stuck as well, and they don't want to take that risk. I understand that too, but you've either got to stop whinging, or you got to do something about it. And it's the same when we talk to some painters, man. They're like, this spray brand or this paint brand did this or this did that. Mate, leave them. I can't leave them. They look after me. Well, stop whinging. Like, and then oh well, you know, like, oh, but then you say or do something like, oh well, I don't want to know, bro. You have a massive bill that you pay on pay. Go to someone else and say, this is how much I'm spending. Show me your prices. Can I use your products? Like, ask the question. You'd be surprised. Who needs business? Whose business more than who? And it's funny when, you know, and we've had this like time and time again. We get people ringing us and say, look, tell us about your machines, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking about buying a spray gun. And they go buy another brand spray gun, right? And then something goes wrong and they ring us for help. And it's like, hold on. You can't not buy our products, buy someone else, and then want our support. You can't, you can't have the best of both worlds. And we've had those tough conversations that we can't help you. We've got our own customers, and it's like, we're trying to give the Panadol before the headache, but you've got to have the headache, and then we can supply the Panadol. But it's, you've got to make those choices. But just whinging about, this and that, like, make a change or just stop whinging.
I'm reminded of a scenario where one of our good supporters who came to our training, one of our first trainings, he came to me months later, and he goes, "Oh, I had a visit from my rep today, and his boss coming to see me, who I've known for years." I was like, "Oh, really? How'd that go?" I was teasing him about how I come to you now because the service is better, blah blah blah. And he goes, "So what can we do better?" He's like, "Well, you could start by having your rep call me once in a while." And he goes, and the rep goes, "Well, you only spend 40 grand a year with us," which is a lot of money. And I just thought, like, that's what they think of you. Like, it just like 40 grand is a lot. That's like that's a lot of money. And it's like their response is, "You're not big enough to bother me." It's like, right, we'll take that 40 grand away. It's way harder to replace 40 grand than not. So it's like, take it away and just watch. They'll come back and offer you the service you deserved the last time they come chasing you for your business. So it's just funny. It's just, that's the arrogance that comes with being in a position of power, I guess, where it's like, "Bro, I don't need you. What are you gonna do? You gonna leave? Go ahead and leave."
Yeah.
They actually left. Yeah. So it's just wild, man. The whole relationship thing is going. It's all about how can you help me get my KPI? When I'm not hitting my KPI, I'm thinking of you. But if I'm already in the green, then I'm going to get my bonus.
Yeah.
I'm not helping you, so you stop buying shit. So I make it harder on myself next year.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? Like, when it comes to like the importance, right? And it's why you were successful, Wagner, Dulax, and here as well, is the connection with people. It's like a lot of the time, man, it's like painters have the connection with one store manager or one person in store that will go over and beyond, or it's their rep or anything. And that's the only reason that they're there. Put the fucking paint aside and everything else. It's because of the service levels of those people. You know what I mean? It's not the brand, it's the people that they have some sort of relationship, and that's important, for any business owner. So, and that's the reason I've spoken about it before. Had a rep, it was amazing to me, helped me in business, went over and beyond 15 years. And then there was a store manager who just looked after me, went over and beyond, and that's why I stayed with Waddle for so long. Not because of the paint. Well, paint's paint. Like, we get it anyway. There's other paint brands, but those guys were the reason why.
I was reminded of something before when you were talking about service and connecting with people. I remember one time early in my spray career, I won't say what I was working about early in my spray career, I was I made it an effort to get on the ground and work. I built a really good relationship with the painters, which is kind of backwards to how it used to be. Your customer's the store. It's like, well, not really, because the store can choose what they sell.
Yeah.
So I was like, made this huge effort, and I was working so hard and doing all this great stuff. And my boss rang me one day, and he goes, "Tony, I just want to have a chat to you about your service level." I was like, "Oh no, what do you mean?" And he's like, "I think you're servicing your customers too much." And I was like, "Oh, really? What do you mean?" He's like, it's like I think you're going way too above and beyond." And he goes, "The risk of that is that when you leave someday," which is already a problem because he's thinking of that, but it's like, if you leave someday, you're gonna make that job extremely hard for the poor bastard that follows you. That's what he said. And I was like, I remember thinking, like, That's exactly what I want. I want to be irreplaceable. I want to do.
But that's typical of everyone, where it's like instead of rising to the level of Toddy, it's like bring him down to the level of everyone else.
Yeah.
He's making us look bad. It's fucking wild.
But yeah, I was like, that was real. That was a long time ago. I just remember thinking like, I can't believe we just had this conversation. What the?
Right, that's why like all the conversation we had at past places that you've worked is the only people that have bad things to say about you are people that didn't like that you did that, basically.
Yeah.
So, well, okay, look at them, look at you. But yeah, look, that was an interesting podcast where we went there today. That was cool. A bit of shooting the breeze about different things. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that. That's another one in the books of the U Spray podcast. Before I forget, Black Friday sale is about to be in your face. Do not miss it. It will be the best deals on offer, Australia and globally. You need to get amongst it. It includes, with an SGC3 purchase, you will get a free PIY machine, which is valued at $1,000. I know, I didn't stutter. That's exactly what's happening. And if you buy a SGC6, you will get a free SGC1. SGC1 valued at
$2,000.
$2,000. There you go. So you need to look out for that. Get amongst it. It's underway now. So hope you take advantage of those cool deals. Till next time, keep spraying.